Welcome to today's edition of Currents Up Close. I'm Kim Manning. I'm the manager of the Cedar Falls Tourism and Visitors Bureau, and we've got some very exciting events coming up in a few weeks. June 13th through the 15th, which is Father's Day weekend, we have two trails-related events, the Iowa Trail Summit and the Cedar Trails Festival. So I've got some great guests with me today to fill you in all about these events. Bob Manning is the president of the Cedar Trails Partnership. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, Bob is my husband. Hi, dear.
Hello, sweetheart.
And Peter Komendowski, he's also on the board of directors for the Cedar Trails Partnership, and he's been coordinating the Iowa Trails Summit for a number of years as well. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, first, let's kind of talk a little bit about the Trails Partnership, because that's kind of a common thread through both of the events. Mm-hmm. Bob, tell me a little bit briefly about the partnership itself.
Well, the partnership is an advocacy for the trails that we have in the Cedar Valley area, with 106 miles of hard surface trails. It's a support group to just continue to advocate and prepare improvements and suggest improvements for the trails. Our membership dues have been, this past year, for one of the first times, have been 100% paid out in grants to support trails activities, such as we've had a cross-country ski groomer for the wintertime people. We've added additional signage to the trail as an advocate idea. We've provided some seed money to the Janesville group to rebuild the Barrack Road Bridge. Mm-hmm. We've provided some seed money to the City of Hudson for trails repairs on the Sargent Trail system. And so it's exciting because we're a nonprofit group and we don't have administration expenses. The membership dollars go right back into our community for the benefit of our trails.
That's great. That's great. And so the festival is somewhat a generator of some of this
Absolutely.
funding?
The Cedar Valley Festival, the Cedar Trails Festival, is our signature event of the summer. And the signature event within that is certainly the night ride, where people come with lights on their bikes, sometimes lights on their helmet, and ride the lighted trail through the park system. Mm-hmm. And it'll be the 19th annual trail ride this year, and we've had a lot of participation and a lot of excitement and a lot of fun doing that.
Great, great. Well, and we'll explore those individual events of the festival in depth in the next segment of our program. Mm-hmm. Tell me, how long has the festival been in existence?
This is the 19th year, and we're excited that we have Amy Kay as their chairperson this year for the festival. She's done a great job of organizing it. We have things such as safety rodeos and a number of other items that she'll touch on. But it's truly meant to be a family and a trail riding and walking experience for people.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. It sounds like there's a lot of different kinds of events planned as well. Mm-hmm. So the funding from the festival helps with the grants that you mentioned. Is that the main purpose, is to create awareness or funding, or what's the main purpose of the festival?
Certainly the main purpose is to have family fun, and in that way to support the advocacy for the trails and to provide funding for trail improvements. And so it's truly been a win-win situation. Mm-hmm. Our members, our theme really is we love the trails, and that's what so many people tell us about the Cedar Trail system, that it's almost one of those things that we are so appreciative, but it's almost too quiet. And we said, you know, it's time to make some noise and make sure that people really do appreciate our trails, because everyone we talk to says we love it. And from your position, it brings people in from out of town to our communities to ride our trails. Yeah,
so hopefully we'll get some more membership from the awareness of the festival as well. Mm-hmm. Peter, you're also a board member with the partnership, and you've been working on this Iowa Trail Summit for how many years now?
It's our 5th year now.
Wow, so that's a real established event.
Well, we like to think so,
yeah.
But it flows every year. We try and reflect the needs of the trails community and bring together some of the best speakers and some of the best pros from around the state to talk about what's happening, what some new innovations, new ideas, and giving a chance for people from all different backgrounds that enjoy the trails to learn things that they normally wouldn't have a chance to learn unless they were maybe doing it professionally. So this gives the novice and the professional both a chance to come and experience a very, if people know what TED is like, a very TED-like event where you have a very fast-moving day. We have over 20 speakers. They're right to the point. They give great 10, 15, 20-minute presentations. And so at the end of the day, you get exhausted for all the wonderful things that you've learned, but you have a lot of fun. You'd never get bored.
Really fast-paced, it sounds like. I think it's very interesting how the summit began, the whole purpose when you first started doing that. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Indirectly, it has to do with the Trails Partnership as well. I'm also on the Water Trails Advisory Committee in the state and on the Iowa Department of Transportation's Federal Recreational Trails Advisory Committee. And that committee obviously gets a score and do a lot of grants. And one of the reasons that we have 2 members on that committee from the Trails Partnership, Larry Buchholz as well as I, is that we have such a great trail system in the Cedar Valley. And for that reason, they're interested in our opinion and what we're doing. And when we were looking for an initial community to host the Trail Summit, this was a natural. It has one of the best developed, diverse trail systems. And especially when we start looking at what the partnership's doing, even though the partnership started out as a bike, predominantly a bike organization, we're starting to embrace other forms of trails, other communities, and grow in our reach so that we can really reflect the needs of the community. And that corresponds really directly with what we do in the Trail Summit, which is talk about motorized and boating of all sorts and equestrian, four-wheeler, as well as a very diverse package of people that deal with bicycling and bike trails and hiking and walking as well.
Yeah, I think it's real interesting how you wanted to get everyone together that uses the trails in these different formats so that they could learn from one another and network a bit.
Yeah, we don't usually get together. Usually bike people work on bike stuff, four-wheeler people work on four-wheeler stuff, and even sometimes there's even animosity. Horse people don't like bike people going by them on the trails. But by working together, we realize that in Iowa, one of the most precious resources we have is a sense of community. And one of the things that really binds people together in a community is the opportunity to do things together with a family. And one of the greatest opportunities is to enjoy the trails. Because quite frankly, there is no better investment not only in the value of a community, but in the value of families and children. It doesn't cost much for our residents and our visitors to enjoy all these wonderful trails that we have in the area.
Well, it's great that we're able to host that event here in the Cedar Valley. You mentioned that's because of all of the different types of trail usage that we have.
Well, it is because of that, and because we have such a diverse trails community here. And quite frankly, Iowans come together really strongly around this issue. So people come from Clear Lake, Northeast Iowa, Southeast, Southwest to come to the summit. UNI is a great host for our event, both the work of the Trails Partnership, tourism in Waterloo and Cedar Falls to bring this event together and to help pull together some of the best guests. We have Peter Erasm, an economist that's doing some great stuff on the agenda. We have Senator Rob Hogue, talking about climate change and how the legislator's looking at climate change and trails and greenways. And then the world famous child psychologist, Dr. Gentile, talking about a child's sense of adventure and how what's happening in the world with media and social media affects children and getting outdoors. So we really have a wide range of interesting topics. And I encourage people from the Cedar Valley to look, go to our website, friendsofiowatrails.org, or they can go to the Cedar Trails Partnership site and find information on the summit. It's really an expensive day. It's $45, and that includes lunch and parking. And the fact that we're subsidized by the DOT and the federal funds for 80% of it means we can keep the cost really low and have a phenomenal caliber of speakers available. Think of it like seeing Justin Bieber for $5. We have all these, of course he's not coming this year, but we'll be okay. Yeah.
Well, and so registration is open currently.
Yep.
You can go to the website and register
you
now.
go iowatrailsummit.org or friendsofiowatrails.org, or like I said, Cedar Trails Partnership. Either way, you can get to our registration page, and they can people can always give me a call. If you go to the Friends of Iowa Trails, my contact information's there. Try not, between 10 and 5 in the morning. But other than that, give me a call if you're interested. And it's just a great event for people that are just interested in trails. So it's an opportunity for people in the Cedar Valley to come out and have some fun.
That's great. Well, and I think it would be interesting to share with our viewers how it came to be that both of these events are on the same weekend, because the Trails Festival was always in August previously, and it's been moved so that the two can coincide.
Absolutely. Our members said that they would like to have an earlier time of the year for the Cedar Trails Festival. There's a lot going on that weekend in our community, and we're all knocking on wood for good weather, because we want all of our members to both enjoy our activities and all the other choices that they'll have that weekend. So plan on staying home and enjoying the festival and the many other things that are to do that weekend in our community.
And Peter, you've always tried to offer hands-on experiences in conjunction with the summit.
Our Trails Summit always had a family fun day the next day, which now it's complemented by the Trails Festival, so there's much more to do. You know what's really cool is I get to visit all over the state and places like Wisconsin and Chicago, and you start talking about everything that's going on Father's Day weekend in the Cedar Valley. And this is like a go-to place. If you're here, stay here, because people are going to be coming from other places to get here. We already know that a lot of the hotels are already filling up for that weekend. And it's exciting because when you look at the successful communities, they come together and have all sorts of events. And I think that with the events that we have, and especially through the work of the Trails Partnership for the festival, with that diversity of events from the night ride and the poker run and the paddling events, you know, you're looking at probably a go-to event in Iowa and the Midwest on Father's Day weekend. And this coupling, this first year that we're doing it all together, it's going to be a great start. I look forward to many years to come when people flock from all over to come have fun here.
It sounds like a lot of fun. So on Friday, you go to the summit, learn all about the trails and hear from these famous speakers.
And Friday evening, we're at Gateway Park.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool thing. We have somebody from the DNR, from Iowa Whitewater Coalition, and a gentleman that does presentations on fishing Iowa. We're going to have some PowerPoints and videos at Gateway Park Shelter after 6:30 in the evening. And there'll be some live music from Uncle Chuck. And if people are hungry, there's like a $10 picnic thing going on. They can register for that online. But if you're not, you can come for free and watch the videos about fishing, whitewater paddling, and canoeing around all of Iowa. We have the three top guys from fishing, from whitewater experiences, and the DNR Water Trails program, talking about all the cool water trails experiences in Iowa. And believe me, they're here because a lot of them are really close to the Cedar Valley.
Oh, and I don't think we mentioned, the summit is at the UNI campus, correct?
Yep, at the Schindler Center at UNI.
So that should be easy in, easy out, parking right next to the
Free parking
building.
comes with the registration, as does lunch at the Rialto Ballroom. So it's a buffet lunch, so if you have any dietary restrictions, you've got everything covered.
Well, it sounds like you've kind of thought of all of the details.
Well, it's great to partner with the Trails Festival. When you really think about the things people talk about, that's been a signature event here, and using it to help kick off the summer is really going to be exciting.
Yeah. Well, and that was a pretty long discussion too, about moving the Trails Festival to the June date so it could coincide with the summit. So this will be the first try, huh?
Well, there was big science involved. You know, the night ride, we start realizing midstream that it starts a little bit later because the sun is up a little longer. But once all the fear went away, you look at the solar charts and it's only 36 minutes later.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to miss their bedtime. We're going to be okay.
Perfect.
It is an exciting time, Kim, and as president of the Cedar Trails Partnership, I would be amiss if I didn't encourage the listeners to join the Cedar Trails Partnership, because they can sign up online, and it's $20 for a single and $30 for a family. And again, those dues go right back into our community, into trail enhancements. And so that's, we have always appreciated our supporters. And so this is also a thank you to our current members and those that are renewing right now. We need them. They're the lifeblood of what we do, and they allow us to do a lot of things in the community. Around the state, people note that this is the biggest trails organization supporting public trails opportunities in the entire state. And I say that for the listeners, join this partnership, because that creates so many opportunities. People in Des Moines and people in federal funding areas listen and say, boy, they're appreciative of the trails up there. We need to help them get these trails built and funded. So joining has a lot to do with how many resources we can get to build better trails in the Cedar Valley.
Great. Well,
we've got a pretty good advocate statewide for this too, I think, Kim.
Yeah, that works for all of us. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for joining us to fill us in about the summit starting on Friday, June 13th, and then the festival will take place the rest of the weekend. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about more specifics of the festival itself.
Dear CFU, recently we had a home energy audit through your House Calls program. The audit gave us information we needed to make good decisions, and your rebates helped us upgrade our insulation air conditioner and furnace. Our thanks to everyone at CFU. Without exception, your employees were helpful, friendly, and efficient. We feel lucky to live in a city with a utility service the caliber of CFU.
Cedar Falls Utilities. Our family serving your family.
I am a future Panther.
I am excited for college.
I am building my skills.
I am trying new things.
I am shaping the future.
I am ready for the real world.
I am a success.
I am UNI.
I am UNI. You can be too.
Welcome back to Currents Up Close. We are talking about summer activities and trails-related activities, the Iowa Trail Summit and the Cedar Trails Festival today. And I have Amy Kay with me and Kirby Baumgard. These folks are helping with the planning of the festival. Amy, you are actually chairing the festival this year, so you'll have a lot to share about it. Kirby, you're a longtime member and president of the Cedar...
Former president of Cedar Valley
Former
Cyclists.
president, yes, I'm sorry, I keep
That's okay.
saying that. Brian Will is the current president,
Yes.
but you were president of the Cedar Valley
for 9
Cyclists.
years. For 9 years. So
Yeah.
Cedar Valley Cyclists have put down the candles for the candlelight ride for many years. So now we're just kind of taking that over now for us. So.
Among many other trails-related and cycling-related activities. So that's great. So thank you for joining us to tell us about the festival. First, let's get those dates out there because they're a little bit different this year. Amy.
Sure, right. The festival, as was mentioned in the first segment, has moved from Friday, June 13th through Sunday the 15th. So it's a Father's Day weekend, and it'll be the same weekend again as the Trail Summit and the My Waterloo Days Festival. So there'll be a lot going on.
There will be, yes. And I should mention too, as we get started, Amy, you've been very active also with the Cedar Valley Bicycle Collective as well. So we've got a lot of groups working together to pull the festival off. And this is your first year as chairing the event overall. Tell us why you got involved and how that's been working.
Sure. Well, after serving on the board with the Cedar Valley Bicycle Collective, I wanted to stay involved with trail and bicycle related activities, and the opportunity came about to chair the committee for the Trails Festival. And so I thought it would be a nice opportunity and a different adventure to go on. So it's been a good experience so far, and we're looking forward to having the festival.
Great. I think that's one of the things that really makes our community special is people really step up and do that. So let's kind of go through the events. Sure. You want to go through, and I know Kirby, you're involved in a couple of them.
A couple, and we'll get to those. I guess the first event probably is the Friday night, the Park to Park pedal.
Yes.
So we're actually going to start at Gateway Park on Friday night at 6 o'clock. Then we're going to pedal down to the Lincoln Park in Waterloo to kind of tie in together the My Waterloo Days, as Amy mentioned. So we'll head down there for the parade and partake in the festivals down there and have some food, and then return a little bit later. So that's the first event. So
great. So bring your lights. Wear your
need
helmets.
your lights for the way back, and we will have My Waterloo Days buttons for people to take down and wear to the park down in Lincoln Park. That should work out good.
Yes, maybe we should mention, when we started publishing dates, we realized that the two events, the My Waterloo Days Festival and the Trails Festival, were on the same weekend. So I know that you've worked a lot with the My Waterloo Days folks to collaborate and cross-promote, and so that's why the buttons are available, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep,
Great.
that's right. And we'll have 500 free buttons for the first 500 participants with any of the activities involved with the Trails Festival. You'll be able to get a button and then attend any of the My Waterloo Days events for free.
So that's really nice.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Friday evening.
Yep.
Then we move on to Saturday, right?
Yep. Saturday, we'll start off new this year. It's a 5K race for healthy communities put on by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and there'll be some great speakers before and after that event. And shortly thereafter, Advanced Pet Care Clinic is hosting their 5K9 doggy run walk, as well as Paws in the Park. And the doggy run walk will be, again, a 5K, but there'll also be a 1.5K available for your smaller pets. If 3 miles is too much, you can still bring your small
For the
dog
shorter legs.
and have a shorter run. But you don't have to have a pet to participate in the 5K. You can still come and run either for time or just for fun. It's a family event. And then Paws in the Park is a great event. There'll be tents all throughout Gateway Park. There'll be veterinarians, groomers, and trainers, and all sorts of different vendors available for you and your pet. And there'll be, I think the Canine Playhouse will be there also to demonstrate some different training, agility, and obedience for your pets. And farther in the day, there's Shields sponsors a couple events. There's the Tour de Valley ride and the Paddle Demo Day. So there'll be 2 different rides for the Tour de Valley, 25-mile and a 40-mile loop. So you'll be able to take your pick and get to see some of the sights and maybe visit some of the trails that you hadn't been on before. And then the Paddle Demo Day will be out at Big Woods Lake, where you can sample some of the equipment that they have available at Shields and paddle around a kayak if you haven't ever had the experience before. It's a good way to just get your foot in the water, hopefully not the rest of you.
Yeah.
And then a couple other events on Saturday are their Dirty Ride, where you get to experience the soft trails with your mountain bike. There's quite a few soft trails in the area, dirt trails, and that's always been a good event with good participation. And later in the evening, there's the bicycle safety rodeo for kids. That's from 4 to 6, where you can bring, the child will need their bike and their helmet, but there'll be a police officer present to talk about the importance of safety, and then we'll have a course that they can ride through and learn a couple different skills. It's for elementary age children primarily.
Let me just say that you chaired that event last year, and it was fabulous. I thought it was a great safety education thing, and I'm glad to see that that's happening.
Yep, and there'll be Bike Tech will be present to check out bikes and give them a little tune-up if they need that as well.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right, then right after that, right after the safety rodeo, then we're going to have a 3-mile family ride. So the kids can just go right from that rodeo right to this family ride. We'll ride around the trails a little bit, and then do a quick loop, and then after that, then the big event is the night ride. So Cedar Valley Cyclists again will be putting down the glow sticks for that. I actually ordered the glow sticks yesterday.
How many?
I have 4,000 glow sticks to put down.
Wow.
And this year we went with assorted colors rather than just all green colors, so we'll have a little bit different look out there on the trails. But that will partake at Gateway Park there, and then they'll start about 9 or 9:30 when it gets a little bit dark, and we'll do that night ride, and then the next day we get to pick those glow sticks back up again. So.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's a big event, pretty popular, so we're glad to do that.
And before the event, there's live music and food available for purchase, so you can hang out there for a little while beforehand. And
Gateway's a great location. Sounds like it's kind of the hub of activity for Saturday. Not the only place, but the soft trails is kind of out around Hartman. Is that?
Yep, and that starts at Mulligan's. But the Tour de Valley rides, the longer rides, will start at Gateway Park. So we're trying to keep that as a central location so people can find their events and start locations easily.
And then Big Woods for the paddle demo. That's a really growing sport, the paddle sports. So that's nice to be able to try out some equipment and try your hand at it, huh?
Yeah.
It sounds like you've been very intentional about showcasing the various uses of the trails as well, with running events, bicycling, paddling. That's a good variety of offerings.
Yeah, we want the festival to be an all-inclusive type of thing, so walkers can come and participate in the 5Ks even if they are not running, but as well as the water trails and cycling. We don't have equestrian events yet, but maybe someday we can have some.
Yeah, we're a little short on equestrian trails.
Yes.
But as you say, maybe someday.
That's right. And also on Sunday, there's the poker ride available where you can ride around and play different hands of cards and then there's prizes available at the end. And so that's a neat event as well.
It's quite popular too. Quite a few people attend that ride.
It's a nice way to spend a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then you're recommending helmets for all of the bicycling events.
Yep. and lights even. I mean, lights, people don't usually use them during the day, but they're even good for safety during the daylight hours too even, so.
Sure.
Just make sure people can see you.
Yeah. Well, I understand the Trail Patrol will be available at all of the events to help with any issues that might come up or repairs or.
Yep, they'll definitely be helping out on our night ride. They'll be at the various corners, staging corners where there might be some problems or we got to turn whatever, so they'll be out for that. We're looking for volunteers for the night ride. We actually put down glow sticks for 9 miles. So looking for teams of 3. So we need 9 teams of 3. So if anybody's interested, you can just email me at kirby@cedarvalleycyclist.org and I'll get you down on a team. Or if you come up with a team of 3, let me know and I'll put you down as a team together. So.
Okay.
And then usually on that night ride, we put those glow sticks down right around 6 o'clock. And then we return to the shelter, and then we have your favorite refreshments are always available, and a little potluck dinner there too. So that's a good way to get the volunteers to enjoy the evening also.
Well, almost all the events are free, right?
That's correct. Yep, most of them are free. There are some advanced registrations for some of the running races, and you can find all that information, as was mentioned, at the Trails Partnership website, or if you have questions, you can email trails@trailspartnership.org as well.
Great. Well, another way to support the festival, maybe buy a shirt. We have a new look in shirts this year. You want to explain that a little bit?
We do. We simplified some things this year, and we came up with a logo, which is also presented behind us. So they're a dry fit shirt. I
can't hold
help
up
you out
very well.
here.
Thank you.
So we just have the logo on the lapel pocket with the sponsors, and thank you to all of those that are participating this year on the back. So it's nice and breathable, so even if we have some really hot weather, it should be nice and comfortable for everyone.
Yeah, so those shirts are $15 a piece,
Yeah.
and available at the Visitor Center. Give a little plug for the Cedar Falls Visitor Center. And then they'll be available at all of the events throughout the festival as well.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're also looking for some other volunteers for the 5K Doggy Run Walk and the Bicycle Safety Rodeo. So the run walk is in the morning at 8:30, and the rodeo again is at 4 in the afternoon. For the 5K9, I think with registration and just getting things organized, they need a few people. And for the Bicycle Safety Rodeo, we're still looking for some people to man each of the stations and explain to the participants and to the children what exactly the goal of that station is to learn, and go over maybe a few safety features.
Great. Well, and Kirby, do you want to give your email address again for folks to volunteer for the night ride?
It's just at Kirby, K-I-R-B-Y,
Yes.
at Cedar Valley Cyclist with a plural.org.
Okay. And you can also funnel all of that through the Cedar Trails Partnership website. You'll see a full listing of events, as Amy said.
Yep.
And then you can email the trails at cedartrailspartnership.org if you want to volunteer as well.
Yep, and there's also information on the Trails Partnership Facebook page. It's got the whole agenda of all of the events, and you could post or ask questions if you're trying to get a hold of someone in regard to volunteering or have any other questions that way.
Great, great. Well, it sounds like you've got a fun-packed weekend planned for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all your work in putting this big event together. It's a real great resource for the community. Again, June 13th. 14th and 15th.
Yep.
Be sure to come out and join us at the Cedar Trails Partnership, and thank you for watching.